Welcome to Aikido, a first look. My name is Michael McVeigh, and I am the instructor at Yellow Springs Aikido. Aikido is a 50-year-old way of personal growth and self-defense. It is a way of redirecting an attacker's force without struggling and with minimal harm to the attacker. Students' self-defense and conflict resolution skills grow as they practice a wide variety of attack and defense scenarios. Mental and spiritual growth result directly from this physical practice. Aikidoists move towards seeing conflicts as chances to grow in their own internal flexibility and confidence. What you see me practicing here is the 8-direction cut. It shows the origins of Aikido in the ancient samurai sword. We practice this not to hurt other people, but to teach ourselves the basic body postures necessary for Aikido. Aikido classes begin with bowing in, and they end with bowing out. This is a basic etiquette that is practiced every class so that we maintain respect for each other and for the founder of Aikido. This is some basic movement that we do in every class to practice making our bodies into one piece and coordinating our breathing while we do this. Also to warm up and loosen up tight muscles. As you can see, a lot of the more stretching like exercises we do have their base in yoga. You could think of Aikido as yoga in motion. Back foot down, knee, up, sideways. Straighten your front leg. Trikonasana. Get your hand up as high as you can. These are some more basic movements that are involved in just about every Aikido technique that we do. Entering in beside an opponent and seeing things from the opponent's point of view while simultaneously getting out of the way of an opponent's attack. 9, 10. We're going to practice the Rimi Tenkan. Right foot forward, step with the back foot, all the way around, adjust the front foot. Back foot, turn, look all the way around. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and go. Facing knee, ready position with your left arm in. And go. Practice learning how to fall down so that we can practice in pairs. One person being the pretend attacker, the other person being the pretend defender. Position with your left arm in. And go. And as you can see, we practice falling down in ever more challenging ways so that we can practice in ever more realistic ways with our training partners. Be sure to brace your rolling arm with the other hand. Leg back. You practice falling backwards too. Go ahead. A full half of what one learns about Aikido is learned by being thrown. or falling. Good. Ready? Back foot up. Knee walking was the way traditionally Japanese people practiced Aikido until they were about 3rd or 4th degree black belt. This is very good for building up your physical awareness of the connection between your feet, knees, hips, shoulders, and hands. The way human beings tend to learn physically is from their head down and from their head out toward their extremities. So when you practice techniques from this kind of position, it's much easier to learn all in one piece. We usually break these basic movements up into graduated parts to make learning easier. So a lot of Aikido moves are run very contrary to the way we're used to moving. Then you kind of go in the guy. 4 times. In Aikido, we do a thing called kiaing. It's a Japanese word for letting your spirit and body become one through your voice. The techniques you've seen us practicing so far are all the techniques in the very first test that somebody could take if they wished after about 3 months of practice. Aikido techniques go with the joint. They were derived or descended from jiu-jitsu techniques that went against the joint. Practicing with your training partners becomes a joint effort. Both people need to work together so that they can learn the technique. On one side, and the Ikkyo-Udo on the other. As you may have noticed, there are young people in the class, and these young people have practiced as long as several of the adults in the class. Adults and young people can work together in beginning Aikido. What it takes mostly is the adult's ability to be aware of their own physical strength. Most adults can do this right away. In Aikido, we practice techniques in parts. We practice them in flowing movement. It's analogous to learning to write by starting out with printing and then moving up to writing in cursive. If you don't learn how to print, it's a lot harder to write in cursive.
Ready? Forward.
One of the big parts of Aikido is lining up one's midline with a triangular stance that you see us all standing in. Building up this perceptual and motor development awareness is essential to Aikido and one of its chief goals and products. So when we practice with a wooden sword like this, that's chiefly what it's for.
Left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's ready to fly. So we're going to start out by practicing Migi no Awase, or right side blend. And I let her know to attack
Practicing
by opening up
with partners with swords
right to the side.
introduces another element. Extending your ki or energy out at the end of a sword and being able to stay in the triangular stance with somebody else doing the same back at you.
Good.
Not to mention just getting out of the way.
Back a little bit, that way you won't have to deal with this bump on the ground.
Practicing respecting one's partner with a sword readily transmits into one the respect needed to be able to use Aikido as a self-defense.
Okay, let's make a circle again. Now and say, Domo arigato gozaimasu. Right? David and Maggie come up. Maggie, you're over there. David, you're right there. And you come in the back.
So we've practiced the Arthur Murray School of Dance version where you put your feet on the footprints on the floor.
So you come and
And
grab
now
one
we want to
forward.
practice filling in the gaps between the footprints. Adjusting to the rate of speed of the person's attack,
Come grab right away. Don't
not
feel like-
throwing them any harder than they are attacking.
All right. Fresh UKs. So remember, just punch, or overhand strike, or two-shoulder grab.
This is the part where you practice Aikido, all moving constantly. Similar to trying to write in cursive after having learned to print.
Try to really receive the person's attack in the direction it's already going.
Responding to the person's attacking force and going where it leads, rather than clashing with it.
And the one bomb. Okay, everybody down. Okay. Finish off with Kokudosa. 1, 2.
This exercise was traditionally the last exercise practiced in every class by the founder of Aikido.
That's Kihon. Breaking the
It's not as much of a technique as it is a very, very rich exercise full of Aikido principles and concepts that one practices
all one piece.
even when you're a 10th degree black belt.